Hello, I'm firefighter Jason Blasi with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue, and I'm here to tell you about my journey with substance abuse. My substance abuse started a long time ago, before I ever even was on the job. I remember taking my first, drug in my teens, drinking my first beer in my teens. And I'd never drank like normal people did. I always looked forward to the next one before I was finished with the first one. And I always felt like more of it was going to make it better. I learned about that excitement that comes with anticipation of taking that drug, and I learned that early in life. Because I worked very hard, I like to play very hard. I felt it was my right and privilege to celebrate, to blow off steam, to cope with the lifestyle of being a fireman. Some of the 24-hour tours that I put together during my career were extremely stressful, hazardous, and that was the way that I coped with it. I needed something to look forward to after a tough night of running 6 calls after midnight. My alcohol and substance abuse affected my family greatly, especially my wife, and my parents and my siblings, and my extended family. When I was in the grips of my disease, I wasn't present, and I would do a lot of stuff to protect my disease. I wasn't available emotionally. I would withhold affection because I felt so terrible about myself. And then there were the times where I was using and drinking, and I would overshoot the mark, and then I became someone they had to babysit, or they had to watch behave in a way that, was disappointing, scary, difficult to be around. My daughter could tell that her dad wasn't as emotionally available as he could be. My daughter also heard the arguing between her mother and father. And I'm sure she saw the concern and the terror at times that her mother went through dealing with her father, who was drunk or high. My alcoholism and substance abuse affected my relationship with my coworkers greatly. I've had relationships that were completely strained and cut off because of my unavailability to be a friend on the job, to be a good coworker, because I'm protecting my disease, or I'm in the grips of my disease, and not the person that I should be, not the fireman that I'm capable of being. Those feelings inside of falling short of the mark on a daily basis at work were extremely difficult to deal with, and that caused more using and drinking to deal with those feelings. And the more I tried to hide it, the more I separated myself from my coworkers, and the worse I felt inside. I knew what I was doing was wrong. I could feel it inside that I was going against my morality, my integrity, everything that I held special in my life. Now I wasn't able to enjoy. And I knew that I needed to change, but I just didn't know how to. And I kept using, and it got worse and worse and worse, until it was so bad, on duty, I was confronted by my coworkers. And that was the moment that I knew that I had to change. That was the moment that I had to surrender. My recovery process has been long and slow, just as it should be, because my drinking and using was long and slow. It was a slow deterioration. And the recovery from that has been a slow reestablishment of myself back to a place that is at times extremely joyful, satisfying. It's a redemption. And, it started with the admission that I need help and the acceptance of the help that was provided to me, which put me into in touch with a recovery community that now I am established in. And it's given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. I'm able to be the father and the husband that I always should have been. I'm able to be the coworker that I always wanted to be. The passion for the job and for the things that I always enjoyed outside of the job has come back. My zest for living has come back. I've been able to repair relationships in my life that were once strained or broken. It doesn't come without its challenges, but I embrace those challenges. Whereas I used to run away from all the challenges in life because I didn't know how to cope with them. Now I take them head on, one day at a time, one moment at a time. I'm doing this video today because I want to give a message of hope to anyone out there in the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue family that is struggling with alcohol and substance abuse. I want to let them know that there is a life beyond drugs and alcohol. I want them to know that there is a life after the fall, that there is resources available to help you. And I understand how difficult it is to come to that place where you would be willing to take the help. I understand those moments of desperation, that fear, that doubt, that shame, that guilt, that remorse. And I know that the most difficult thing to do is to reach your hand out for help or to allow someone to help you. But I can't do that for you. All I can tell you is that I did it, and it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. But today, I'm living a life beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And it's all because I took that risk to ask for the help that I needed for a long time.